Yo, what is going on, everybody? This your boy Sean, aka Puff Comics 83, and welcome back to another episode of Talking Movies with me and my co-host, my partner in crime, Varangian Vigilante, are in our horror month of October, and we're talking zombie films. And today we are talking the classic Dawn of the Dead from 1978. VV, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing very well. A little bit tired today, but I have my coffee in here, so they should get me through the night.
Hey, the one thing about being tired, you might fall asleep and then wake up, become a zombie. We don't need the Roger treatment, man.
Are we talking about Dawn of the Dead or about Ric Flair's last match?
Oh my god. That was a zombie right there in
the ring. Last match so far.
So far. Let's hope he don't think about it again.
Yeah. Well, he's thinking about it.
Keep them thoughts, Rick.
Yeah.
Keep them thoughts, but don't act them out in real life because we don't need to see that again.
Yeah, and last week we talked about Sugar Hill, where we of course covered also the mythological roots of the word zombie and basically the whole voodoo zombie. And today, Dawn of the Dead, which is of course the seminal zombie movie that took a Night of the Living Dead one step further and really created the blueprint of what is like a commercial zombie movie, which this movie is seminal to the whole genre. One can even say that this was the movie that truly created the zombie movie genre. As you talked about, I have like a very difficult history with this film, which of course stems also back to the first DVD that I bought of this movie, or I think I saw, was it still VHS? Which was basically the like unofficial release, like the 155-minute cut, where they took all the material and shoved it in the movie. So I always thought this movie is way too long. But then of course, it's like, hey, there's also different cuts, and finally we got them also in Europe in a very awesome way, from Second Sight Films. I think this is the best release you can get, like all three official cuts, like the Cannes cut, the cinematic cut by Romero, and the European cut by Dario Argento, like in one set. I think for 30 pound I bought, I think, in Britain. So this is finally a way to watch like all the official cuts in a really fantastic quality.
Yeah, there's 3 cuts to this film.
Yeah, officially. So and all 3 cuts often is like, hey, what is the real cut of a movie? But these 3 cuts are they all have their right to exist like as an official cut. There is not one, hey, this is the real Dawn of the Dead cut. Because
George Romero will say his is the definitive.
Naturally, but also he didn't have any money to make this movie, and he went to Italy.
Yeah.
So Dario Argento put out, I think, $250,000 into it for the rights to create the official cut for the international market, except for Latin America. So
this film, like you said, is seminal and such an important part of horror movie making, especially when it comes to zombies. Because Night of the Living Dead, as much as I enjoy that film, there are times where I'd be like, man, that film irritates me, especially the ending, but one of the things that I don't like when it comes to some of these movies is characters that become stupid and start doing things to create even more tension. It's like, one thing you gotta worry about zombies being outside ready to attack you, it's another thing to have somebody just do stupid things within the group that you're in, and it just create even more friction and tension.
Yeah, we already talked about a little bit on the pre-show that such things, as realistic as they are, very annoying to watch. Since sadly, like 3 years, we found out that people react very stupid, even in especially under pressure.
Like, it's fun to watch people make stupid decisions, but then they're like, how many times am I gonna keep seeing y'all do stupid shit? And then you get killed for it, man.
Yeah.
and that's what makes Dawn of the Dead so refreshing, is that you focus on 4 characters, all have 4 different character traits. And while there are some decisions that you scratch your head, none of them break the tension that these characters have. And they almost felt like a family when they're together, especially when they take them all over.
I do have to say that that is for me is the least interesting part of the movie, since except for Stephen and Peter, which I think they are the most interesting characters in the movie. I'm not really invested in these other characters, especially Francine is annoying as fuck.
But when you got a pregnant woman in there, she's gonna be annoying. At least for me, like, she has annoying parts, but she didn't annoy me to the point where I was like, I hope the zombies just eat her alive and maybe rip out a baby and eat her too.
I wasn't. I was at that point where I'm like, when for me, you really have to be annoying to really root for the Hare Krishna zombie.
But she for me, she didn't annoy. Like, I love the part where she starts to demand, like, she wants to be involved and she wants a gun and she wants to learn to fly hell. And Steven is just looking pissed. He's I love it because I just love Steven's reaction to it. He's like, this is men shit. Let us do what we gotta do. And like, you pregnant, you stay here, you be mom.
Yeah. But also the zombies are quite annoying in this movie. That's also where I love the Dario Argento cut, because he cut out all of the comedic parts.
Yes.
And especially within the horror community, I might go against the strain here, but personally, I'm not a big fan of George Romero. Like, there's like none of his movies where I would say, hey, this is like a movie that I really like. But of course, this is very subjective. So for me, of course, having one of my favorite directors, Dario Argento, having a cut for me that saved like the whole movie, because I think he really put the atmosphere in the foreground, the horror, and he left some of the social commentary in there, but he didn't linger on it. And it always felt with Romero that in his cut he lingered too much on the social commentary. Like, I think it's always best there when it's subtle. And when people are like, hey, this has like more meaning than it seems at the first view. So I really like that, because a horror movie foremost should have terror and atmosphere. And I think but very subtle. And when you watch the Italian horror movies, a lot of them have like a lot of social commentary, but it's like not in your face. It's the same with the spaghetti western. They also have a lot of social commentary, but they always like, hey, focus more on like the cool aspects.
Yeah, because every movie's gonna have some type of commentary in there that the director wanted to put in there, and it depends on how they tell that commentary.
Yeah.
Do they really like want to force it down your throat? And they're like, now it's getting a bit too much. It's like the whole war on drugs thing, where movies try and like push that agenda in there. Like, I don't need to see this subliminal message painted on the wall. because I already know what the whole movie is about,
Mm,
so you don't need to throw these messages in there.
Exactly. Yeah, but I wouldn't even say that it is forced in here. I would more say it's like a little bit heavy-handed. I don't think that George Romero had like the necessary subtlety uh, to really weave it into the plot. So like a lot of scenes that is like basically a hyperbole like on capitalism are like they're too funny and too a little bit too slapsticky, which I don't like in a horror movie. Like exactly like as you said in the pre-show, Sean, for example, the zombie that got I think the M16.
Yeah, I'm like, first
Yeah,
of all, that's
also
this
hey,
shit is just way too hokey, for that zombie to just keep holding that thing like it's his prized possession.
Yeah,
like what zombie does that? Come on.
And as we see also later on, I think Romero gets worse and worse with zombie movies. What was it? The one after Day of the Dead, that in one shot, I think in the early 2000s. Was it Island of the Dead, where there was this zombie that was riding a horse, and it was just stupid. I mean, I already think Day of the Dead is a shit movie, in my opinion.
Like, I stop after the 90s when it comes to his movies.
Yeah.
So
I think that that rightfully he can be credited as the creator of that sort of zombie, the flesh-eating zombie, and I also give him a lot of credit for putting also the origin in there. Of course, when when Peter said, like that one of his
voodoo.
relatives, is like voodoo, and of course the quote comes from, "There's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth." So I really like that he put it in. Hey, it's like you have this Haiti like origin, the voodoo origin in there, but he made the zombie like its own thing that is like a different path from the original voodoo zombie that we talked about last week in Sugar Hill.
Yeah, and it's one of the better quotes in the film. Like,
yes,
like we talked about this backstage. It's like that's why we both had the same idea of using that quote, because it's the first thing that sticks out. It's like that's the quote I'm using.
And it turns out this movie is not very quotable. You have some little bangers in there. Like this like where you're like it's like this rednecks might even enjoy it. But otherwise it's lacking a little bit of wit and a little bit of wit in the script.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
I mean,
what I really like though about the film, outside of the social commentary and outside of the main characters, is how it really does show the terror of humankind itself.
Exactly.
Like, I like when Steven is like, we're not really bad guys, we just trying to survive, and then Peter just shuts him down, saying that we're all thieves and stuff and scavengers, so we're no different than everybody else who does this.
Yeah.
Because that's what always happens in the apocalypse, post-apocalyptic world. You're gonna become a scavenger. You're gonna become somebody that steals because you have to survive. Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, and this like the part is like, when society falls down is what determines who owns what? It's survival of the fittest, baby.
Yeah, it's like now it's either all or nothing. You're gonna do what you gotta do to survive, no matter who you encounter. You're gonna encounter people that maybe want to join you, but then can you trust them?
Exactly, and even in our community, I was so shocked when the G-Man, Robert, told this wonderful story when he was trying to buy toilet paper in 2020. He had to fight over it.
It's crazy. Nobody predicted the toilet paper crisis.
my
Bro,
favorite, yeah.
Like what zombie movie, what post-apocalyptic movie predicted that toilet paper would be the most important thing?
And exactly, and you know, when once you see people fight over toilet paper, then you quickly realize how thin the string is on which society hangs.
Each other for that toilet paper.
We live in a society.
Like we talk, we need food, we need water and shelter and stuff. These motherfuckers running out fighting people for toilet paper. I got to wipe my ass. I need this toilet paper.
I swear, like in a few years from now, you know, when people like learn this in history books.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah, which, you know, it's every time you think, like when you watch like an post-apocalyptic movie, like a zombie apocalypse movie, and you think it's like, why don't people focus on what is really important? Like, do they act stupid? Yes, they act stupid, but they also act very human. Sadly,
it's human nature.
It's human nature, and human nature is we are most certainly the most invasive, but not the brightest species on this planet.
And you know, watching the Argento cut, I really thought where like he was gonna cut most of the stuff out was the middle portion when they was at the mall, like going through it and you know take a picture with the money and just going through all the clothes. I really thought that he was gonna like cut a good portion of that out, but he left majority of that in.
Yeah, what I like about it is that he didn't butcher the scenes, but rather is like, hey, it's I take out 2 to 3 redundant seconds of every scene, and therefore like really slimming down the movie and pacing it way better. Because maybe they want to rescue us from those brands.
Because while sometimes the mall scenes can be cumbersome, it's a reflection on, let's face it, our love for the mall. You know, and I do like the commentary that the zombies just, they know that mall so much that that's all they want to be a part of, is inside that mall. Mm-hmm. You know, and remember growing up as kids, you know, we always want to go to the mall, you know, and the mall was like a little amusement park. You know, you had all the stores there, the toy store, the stores that you hated, like Macy's and shit like that your mother would spend like 2 hours, 3 hours in. But it was an experience. And
it is.
And I really thought that Argento was going to cut a good portion of that out, and he left it in there, and I was actually satisfied with that, because it does make the movie better when you see how they fall in love with that mall.
Exactly.
This is where, you know, you fall in love with something, but again, nothing lasts forever.
Especially since, and this is also something that I really like that Peter said right in the beginning when they came to the mall, is like, hey, we can here make a fake wall. And then I said, why? It's like, well, there's maybe, like, you know, you have like a mall with a lot of supplies, like a big target. Yeah. Not only for zombies, but of course also for other humans. And so in case things get sour, he wants to have basically like a safe room, which is, you know, which is always so funny when people who watch like The Walking Dead, which is the biggest snooze fest in the world.
Sleep as man and now.
When they say, "Oh, this series is so groundbreaking because the zombie is like not the real villain; it's humans." It's like it wasn't the humans are the villains in the fucking first zombie movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it be your own that turn against you.
Yeah, of course. Like it's also, as sad as it is also part of human nature. And then I hear some tree hackers that say, "Oh, animals are so much better. Monkeys have wars and eat each other."
That's why I always go back to the second Aliens movie, when Burt tried, to smuggle the aliens back, and Ripley's like, you don't see them fucking each other over just to get ahead and get a profit. Because they ain't interested in that shit. Zombies ain't interested in that. They just want your brains. They want to eat your flesh.
I do have to say, with Xenomorphs, of course, that probably Ripley didn't read Alien Genocide, where the red aliens have the civil war against the blue-black aliens. So Xenomorphs do fight each other.
We're not gonna focus on that. We're just focusing on that line. Hey, and then on top of that, colored Xenomorphs. All right, so now it's a colored battle.
Yeah.
Like that.
What would Eric Cartman say? Race war.
Yeah, but when it comes to these movies, it's like they've been talking about humans being the worst villains out of all of them for the longest time. So when they said that about The Walking Dead, I'm like, that's been the case with every fucking
exactly. That's basically
movie.
It's also that plot is one of the foundations of a zombie movie, and it was really set up also like in the beginning of the movies when people shot people. Like for example,
oh my god, the racist fucking cop. Oh my!
When the police was a little bit too hyped up to. Like,
he was racist to the bone. He just wanted to shoot everybody in the building.
Yeah. So like they like even got like his own man like nope.
I will say the first 20 minutes of the movie is intense as hell.
Yeah.
Between the newsroom setting and everybody arguing between the two scientists and stuff. And then the whole
and this is also a very realistic scene, where because basically that's also is like we don't have to approach this emotional. We can't approach this emotional. People react emotional. Like
we can't help ourselves, man.
Yeah, it's like
especially when the world is slowly falling apart. It's like
exactly
everything is starting to crumble, and we can't help but get emotional because what are we gonna do? How are we gonna survive this? Is there a vaccine or something like that can stop this plague from happening? Nope.
And even if there would be,
it's not gonna stop it. But like humans are the worst. And even when you have a small group, you have to worry about other human beings. That's why Peter was right on the money at the beginning of the film by setting up, that we have to not only worry about the zombies, but other humans that's going to want to get involved. What's up, Stanley?
Yeah, and Peter along with Steven, those are for me, really the two characters that make the movie. They have like a really good chemistry going on. Like from the beginning, there's some friction, but then they overcome it and actually, I think even work their best together.
Now, one thing I do love that Argento cut and shortened was Peter's struggle to get that fucking hammer.
Yeah,
that damn zombie. Like that was the one thing that how the fuck are you struggling that badly, bro? Like, yeah, that zombie's on top of you, but come on, bro.
Yeah, it's like watching a cage match and two people like two trying out to get slowly out of the door.
That's like watching a UFC, and all they're doing is on the mat grappling, but they ain't really doing nothing. They just hugging each other.
Which is like really, which at this point UFC became gay porn.
I was like, come on, man. I'm struggling to get that hammer, and that's like Romero uses all these shots for him struggling to get the hammer. But I'm like, bro, the hammer's right there. How the fuck he got so far away from the hammer? So I was so glad that Argento just shortened that shit and just made it like, one grab the hammer, beat the head.
Yeah, well, let me just say that the wonderful thing about the Argento cut is that he did not like, hey, I cut out this whole scene, I cut out this whole scene. No, it's like, hey, I trim every scene like a few seconds, like 1 to 3 seconds, and therefore really take out the redundant parts. And
like he took out the part where that zombie got a haircut.
Yeah.
As funny as it is redundant when you move.
Exactly. So, and let's face it, if you compare the filmography of George Romero and Dario Argento, there is one clear winner, that is Dario Argento.
I already know that I'm looking forward to when we talk demons.
Yeah, he was the producer in that one, but in the future we really also have to talk, especially like Deep Red, Suspiria. Suspiria is like my favorite occult movie of all times. But I'm already looking very much forward to next week when we're gonna talk like the pseudo sequel to Dawn of the Dead, Zombie, like which is also interesting because of course Dawn of the Dead was not named Dawn of the Dead like on the international market. On the international market, it was like just Zombie.
Yeah, that's why they called it Zombie 2. And I'm like, wait, where's the first movie?
Exactly.
No, Dawn of the Dead was the first movie. But yeah, like another thing that I enjoyed was seeing the raid at the end. And while the biker gang became stupid as fuck,
yeah,
you can't help but they're like, that's a fucking army of bikers, and it's like, and when you understand why Peter felt the way he felt, like this is our place, we found it first, but at the same time, that's where he got stupid.
Yeah, but also I think this is like relatable.
It's relatable.
It became territorial, and then.
But you also got to think. You're going up against an entire fucking gang. You ain't got the ammunition to take out all of them and the zombies.
Exactly. So basically, they should have done just the zombies do their work. Which is like also like one of the minor criticisms of the movie, where I think the zombies got their heat back too late in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really think that, but I'm also happy that like that's like also mostly critic on Romero's cut. I think Argento slimmed that down very much. So yeah. But and also that's the one thing is that I'm not a big fan of the makeup of the zombies.
Yeah,
especially since you have Tom Savini on it, who also plays one of the most memorable bikers. Yeah. But you know, when you have Tom Savini on board, I actually expected a little bit more. But
considering that this is the second zombie film, future movies they made the zombies look even more decayed and stuff like that.
And when you see this film,
they got this like almost blue hue to their skin, and it's like they don't even look zombie-ish. They just look...
exactly. You know, that's the thing is like, you know, I would totally accept it if it's just like, you know, somebody is like bitten and then returns quickly, like if you have a lot of fresh zombies. But nobody can tell me that all these zombies in the mall where like just like had a heart attack and immediately returned as a fresh zombies without bite marks or anything, without scars. So like this is like, of course, a minor criticism. You could excuse it with the budget, but on the other hand, it's like Lucio Fulci didn't had a lot of budget for a Zombie 2, but the zombies are fucking spot on.
They look hideous in that film.
Exactly.
And that's why the cover with that one zombie on it.
Yeah. It's like the one zombie that is like that shows like it has a history of environment.
Yeah, he looked like he's been rotten for 20 years.
Yeah. So you know, also with like last week's Sugar Hill, I like the design of the zombies way more there. And this is the sad thing about this, like also Dawn of the Dead for me, is that for a zombie movie, like for the seminal zombie movies, the zombies themselves actually very lackluster.
One thing that always like bothered me was like how strong are these zombies to just easily rip skin off after one bite? Like you got to have some vicious teeth to just one bite and a whole chunk of your skin has just got pulled out.
I actually like you know, it's like there's this political incorrect term is that, you know, retard strength. So it's probably like undead strength, which is basically, you know, we as conscious human beings, at least I hope we are conscious, We don't use like a full force when we do something. So of course, with them being undead, they don't have any restraint of holding back, and you could easily tear like an ear off, as we have seen with of course with Cactus Jack and Vader. It's like
but the thing is, like, even in The Walking Dead, that irked the fuck out of me is like these zombies are literally decrepit. Yeah. And they're falling apart with no fucking muscles, no skin, no nothing. Yet it's older than these humans. Like they super strong.
Yeah, especially with decaying zombies, I get it. On the other hand, is that I like the visuals, so I accept it. Even though I would say that I would accept it more if it would be voodoo zombies and there's magic working.
Yeah.
Than virus zombies, because when you have virus zombies, actually, you know, when the muscles rot, then the zombies should drop.
Yeah, like how like this movie, like you can tell, like the zombies, like they're fresh zombies, like they ain't been zombies for no more than maybe a couple of weeks.
Yeah. And this is also one of the reasons why in Max Brooks' book World War Z. Never watched the movie. The book is fantastic. It's like one of the reasons why in the end the humans win the war, because the zombies just rot away at one point.
That's realistic.
Yeah.
That's how I always thought, like, yo, these zombies cannot move like that forever.
Exactly.
Like their muscles and their bodies start to deteriorate. They shouldn't be able to get advantages over humans. So it just bothers me when zombies are always like taking down humans. I'm like, bro, this dude is falling apart, literally. You're supposed to be able to defeat one single zombie, but yet you letting this zombie get the handle on you.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. If you got the body of Hulk Hogan, you should be able to wipe out all of them. Hulkamania rules, man.
Yeah, he's not gonna get like a zombie over him.
No.
Especially like an ECW zombie.
So, like, this movie, like, it does a decent job of portraying the zombies, but like you said, we don't really get enough. I thought the best use of the zombies was when they was moving the trucks.
Yes, that was a really part where they worked in the tension very well. Hey, chase.
And that's where Roger really started to become unhinged.
Yeah, he acted ridiculous, and he was like not taking it any serious. And of course, with any movie genre, when you have a character like this, the payback is coming soon.
Especially when you do dumb shit. You get in the truck, the hotwire it, but you leave the door open.
Yeah,
you're just leaving yourself vulnerable for zombies to come and just take your leg out.
Exactly, you know, and some people would say it's like comparable to when you buy a new smartphone and the first week you lay it on the table and after a month you throw it on the bed. So that, you know, of course, then you know, when you just feel like this surviving a zombie apocalypse, that you are in full control, and then that you can always outthink and outrun the zombies, that you get a little bit careless.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's.
Cause that's the thing with him, and like I like him, but at that point he started to get too confident. Oh, we got this by the ass, but you're not being smart with your decision making. You're doing irrational stuff, and you're messing up the plan. Peter's trying to get him back on his game, but he keeps fumbling the ball.
Yeah, what I do like, which comes from this scene, is like the slow decay of Roger. So that I really like, also because it was not established by them within this movie that when you get bitten, basically it's like a death sentence. Air spider. So I really like, of course, they try to take care of him and they cart him around, but then of course the inevitable happens and he passes away and becomes a zombie, and he gets to be taken down.
That scene though is probably like the one scene where I like him and Peter the most, because again, like they have this, you know, relationship because they're cops,
Yeah.
And Peter's like, now I'm gonna lose somebody that I can rely on because we're both cops. And,
That also brought in like to give him like this chance to
it was Roger that brought Peter along. So now he's gonna lose that one guy that he really trusts because he knows that they're from different units, but they're the same thing.
Yeah.
So Roger's death was probably like the most haunting one because of that.
Yeah.
But I really did like that character development, of Roger slowly losing it, and then even when he's down, he still feel that he can contribute, like the whole thing with the car.
Yeah, which was totally also a necessary thing to get something more to care about in the middle part of the movie.
Yeah, because if the middle part was just all about the mall, then I'm like, they could have trimmed this down.
Yeah.
But you do get development of these characters, and I like Peter. No. Yeah, he becomes more like receptive to Steven and Fran. Fix them the little dinner and stuff like that's for them and stuff like that. It's more character building. It shows who he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, fuck Resident Evil.
I mean, maybe the games like the movie is. I remember I've seen the first Resident Evil in cinemas, and I was like, what the fuck?
Look, I love the Resident Evil games, but god damn it, I could not stand them things getting stronger and stronger every game.
Yeah, I mean, also probably like, which is probably a sacrilege for like Romero fans, but actually I like Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, Snyder's version is pretty good. But I still kind of come back to this one, the 1978 one. I don't know, mainly because I like these characters a bit more than the Snyder one, and of course the actor who played Peter is awesome. We talked about him when we talked
He's also in the Snyder.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I just think his character was the best, and out of him and probably Steven, but he was the best character of all.
Yeah, he in general, like, he's a good actor. He was also one of the best parts in Beyond.
Yeah, from
Beyond. Yeah.
Yeah. He unfortunately suffered a terrible demise.
Yeah. But hey, it's a Lovecraft adaptation, so of course everybody suffers a horrible demise.
But yeah, both of these cuts, I lean towards the Argento cut because he cuts out a lot of the little comedic stuff.
Yeah, and also you're getting the full soundtrack by Goblin.
And now, I like the Goblin soundtrack. But there's certain scenes in the Romero cut that I like the certain use of the music there as well. Now, all the stock music that they use, I'm like, that's hit or miss for me. But there's certain scenes with the Romero cut that I'm like, all right, this music fits a little bit more with this part. But then there's certain scenes where the Goblin...
I'm a huge fan of Goblin.
Yeah.
And I even have to say that this is... For being a Goblin soundtrack, is actually quite superb, but it's still fantastic. When you have, of course, Goblin soundtracks for Deep Red, for Deep Red, especially Suspiria, and even like Noho Sono, Goblin are amazing. Claudio Simonetti is probably one of the best composers for movies that is not a classical score like in history.
And like I said, I think the music fits both cuts. And there's scenes that I like the music more in Romero, and there's scenes that I like the Goblin music more in the Argento. So it works out fine for me either way. But I want to talk about Steven's transformation. First, after he get caught in the elevator and he gets shot in the arm, he had to go back down and talk on the walkie-talkie. And then when he tries to climb back up, you have the zombies get in the elevator. Obviously, must have pressed the button because zombies just pressing anything. And we get probably one of the best scenes in the film.
Yeah,
he is just being surrounded by these zombies, and they are just tearing him apart. But he's fighting so hard.
Exactly, and a lot of the zombies in the mall should look like him. So this is like one of the scenes where we actually get like a really good-looking zombie, like where he also he limps because of course they took out like a lot of his muscle. So,
bro, his zombie walk was creepy as hell. With the way his foot was bent, I'm like,
yeah,
did he break his ankle?
that was like really good. So this is like also one of the money shot scenes like in the movie.
When the elevator opened and he's in full zombie getup, and he got tore up like pretty bad. So I could see his transformation being a lot.
And this is also where the goblin music really hits.
Yeah, like the music hits for both sides of both cuts, but his transformation is just amazing, and the walk that he did just gives it that real creepy feel.
And also really like how Peter reacts. When he was like he wants to go away, but then it's like there's still a chance that Stephen might be alive. So I really love the conflict in him because he also don't want to live like his body alone.
Yeah, because even when he knew he was being attacked and he heard the gunshots, he was mad because he's like, he want to go back and help, but at the same time he knows that
his chances are very slim.
and him just sitting there waiting, and Franz was like, it's been hours, why we need to get out of here. But Peter's like, I want to wait, I need to see. And I like that Stephen, like, once fresh a zombie, and this was talked about throughout the film, is how these zombies they still retain memories, and he knew immediately where they were located, and he tore down the barricade that they set up just to go up the stairs. And something that I didn't mention that Argento cut out was when they first had the encounter in the hallway with the zombies, and that one zombie turned around and went up the stairs and went through it. Argento cut that part out, but we just see the zombie already upstairs.
I actually like this one. So I actually think that had more suspense because it basically came out of nowhere than the Argento one.
Because it's like you don't see him turn around and go through the door to go upstairs. So the Argento cut actually kind of like made that scene suffer because they're like, you don't see that zombie come upstairs.
Now, actually, I like the scene from Argento more because I actually liked it when it just appears.
It just feels random. If I would have watched that at first, I was like, that was random. Didn't even see him go up the stairs at first. But the zombies do retain some memory, and Steven automatically knew where they at. So soon as he went through that barricade, all the other zombies just followed. Like he was the leader, and we need to follow him because he knows where the last two people are hiding. But
would be funny though. The funny is like, if you would be a zombie, which would be the memory that you retain?
Jesus Christ. I don't even know. My comics. I'm trying to think. What memory will be important for me to retain? I really don't know.
I would boo Cena. Because Cena sucks. It's true, like I stopped watching wrestling because of
why boo Cena when you can eat his brains, man?
But I don't know, like I don't want to get an attitude adjustment. It's like because like I stopped watching wrestling partly because of Super Cena.
Super Cena.
I come back to watch wrestling. What is Cena Pierce? I'm like, Doesn't matter.
Bye.
That doesn't matter. I have NXT. Appears on NXT. He's like, he's following me. I swear it.
Yeah, like if there's one thing that I will probably retain is I will retain the power of Hulkamania as a zombie.
Actually, that would be a fantastic scene, like in a comedic zombie movie. Just imagine like Hulk Hogan as a zombie, and you shoot him in the head, and then he starts hulking up. Zombie mode.
And he still retains his quotes. He still retains his quotes and his mannerisms.
Yeah.
Like, yes, give us that.
Yeah.
Zombie Hulkamania. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, there is a Wrestlers vs. Zombie movie which we have to talk about in the future.
Yeah. What else you want to add to this? With these two cuts.
Personally, of course, there is preparing Kung Fu. Of course, there is like no right or wrong choice with these cuts. Like, pick whichever cut you like most. And it is. And it is actually really good that there's like 3 official cuts that we can pick from. For me, of course, first of all, naturally because I'm a real big fan of Dario Argento and not a big fan of Romero as a director. The Argento cut is like tailored for me. It's basically, here have a Romero movie, but paced by somebody you really like.
Yeah, this was the first time watching the Argento cut, and I have to say that I enjoyed it a lot. It definitely like cuts out the parts that were unnecessary. And like, there's nothing wrong with the Romero cut. Like, I enjoyed that one as well, but I feel like Argento like cuts out the unnecessary comedic bits and just puts a more focus on the characters and the zombies without all the unnecessary stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's a drastic cut.
Exactly, like, it's not like
he only trimmed out like maybe 8 to 10 minutes.
Exactly, and it's not like he's like, oh, this one scene's 5 minutes, go away. It's really just like very surgical. Every scene, hey, trim out the redundant parts. And Barbarian Kung Fu is like, is there really a George Romero movie that is like a must-see like horror movie except for the creation of the zombies, as we know in pop culture, which I very much credit him for? But Romero is, you can't have Romero like on the same pedestal as a Wes Craven. For Americans or like for Italians like Mario Bava, Dario Argento, it's Romero is a decent mid-carder.
Like, that's a great way of saying it.
Yeah. He's not main event, brother.
Oh man, the wrestling analogies. Yeah. Keep going, man. Yeah, I like when it comes to Romero, I like his work, but there's a certain point where like his zombie movies ain't really doing it for me, especially when others do it a bit better.
Yes, there is a reason why he. I mean, it's really sad that he passed away too early. But he was very bitter in his last years because he couldn't get the funding for movies anymore. So he tried like to crowdfund a movie, but on the other hand, you also have to say that his recent movies were not successful, neither with critics nor with horror movie fans. So yeah, it's like Land of the Dead was horrible. Like, Land of the Dead was like, this movie was I was watching that one is like, fuck that shit.
like I said, his later Dead movies is like, nah.
I even think that Day of the Dead is horrible.
I stopped with Day of the Dead. And the Night of the Living Dead remake that he did in '90 was like, he tried to update it, but
I really think
he was more of a producer and writer on it, but it was like kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, I really think that with the original Night of the Living Dead, which is still very atmospheric and like also like a seminal movie, and Dawn of the Dead, in my opinion, he basically he shot like his ammunition in these two movies.
Those were his best.
Yeah,
those and then every movie after those two, he tried to recapture the magic, but it just wasn't there no more for him.
Yeah, he also did like this cooperation with Dario Argento later, where each like made like a short movie and they made like a double feature. Where also Dario Argento's movie is so much better, and Romero's one is quite forgettable. Now, and also, what's that movie we did? The Night Riders was also like. It's just I don't think that Romero had like I just don't think he was that talented of a director.
Now, did you like the first Creepshow?
Ooh, it's been a long time since I watched it. I would have to rewatch the movie. I don't think I could give it like a fair assessment now.
Because the scene that terrified me the most was the damn cockroaches. Oh my god! And especially growing up in New York City, having to deal with them. Oh my god!
Which that also is like one of the Toro's Betters movie, Mimic.
I think Jace brought that up too. I think Jace brought that up. Like, are y'all gonna talk Mimic? Because I'll join y'all if we talk Mimic.
I even reviewed Mimic a few years ago. Yeah, that one is really.
Yeah, I think Mimic or Relic, one of them. But I remember Mimic, and yeah.
Yeah, especially the scene in the subway. You know, when it was like a guy in a coat. That one was so good.
Yes.
I remember I was watching Mimic in cinemas when it came out. Like, yeah, I'm very old.
Bro, some of them late 90s horror movies were pretty cool.
Yeah, and very much underrated and forgotten. Like, also Species is really good.
Yeah, the first, I can watch maybe the first two Species. The third one, I like, but the first Species blew me away.
Yeah, and also with Giga's designs, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, I still enjoy Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
And I think all three cuts have their place, regardless. You know, like I've said in the pre-show, where people just they love the movie so much they'll watch all three cuts because you know both of them, the movie just have a special place in our hearts when it comes to seminal zombie films.
Exactly. Yeah. Of course, for me, the Argento cut rules supreme. If I would rate the movies, which actually I'm not a big fan of rating movies, but if I would have to, I would give the Argento cut like a 7.5. The Romero cut I would give like a 6 out of 10. And the Khan cut is way too long.
It's way too long. And you know what? I don't even remember the scenes that was extended because it's been that long since I watched it that I'm like, I don't even want to rewatch it to see what they extended because I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, Deep Rising.
And of course, never ever make the mistake that I made when I was young. I was thinking, hey, which DVD I'm gonna buy of Dawn of the Dead? It's like, wow, this is like the ultra, the final cut, which was probably like a bootleg, which is like it's the 155-minute cut where some amateur just cut scenes from all the official cuts together.
And you just sitting there watching that. Like, man, is this movie ever gonna end?
Yeah, and I remember when I was watching it as a teenager, and I was like, why do people like this movie? This is just long. Or basically, never ever. When you think you like, you're in Germany and you think, hey, there's the new version of Dawn of the Dead, like the new cut. which is basically the PG rated cut that it did, which is cut out all of the violent and gore scenes, which basically is just a trip to the mall.
Yeah, that's stripping the movie down to the bare minimum. Like, there's no point in watching it.
It's basically you make it. It's like it's basically an unfunny version of Mallrats. Like
that's a made-for-TV version.
Yeah.
But I'm very indifferent when it comes to all these cuts, because some cuts be not that good. You know, when it comes to like director's cuts. Like, I remember Blade Runner having like 3-4 different cuts.
Yeah, and the final cut is the true one.
Yeah, it's like how many more cuts can I have to watch just to get the definitive one? And Blade Runner was a movie that it took me a while to really like immerse myself into that.
Yeah.
Because every time I watched it as a kid, it just felt boring.
Yeah. Blade Runner is an old man's movie.
You'll get old watching it.
Now that I'm old, it's one of my favorite science fiction movies.
Yeah. Because when I was young, I just felt like, this movie's boring. I could not sit through it. But I always caught that ending, and the ending always stuck with me. But I could never watch that movie as a whole because it just didn't captivate me like the ending did.
Yeah, I loved watching it. It's just like it's a mood. But yeah, Rutger Hauer was so fantastic. It's such a pity that all the original director's cut got like they threw it away. They threw away like this.
Event Horizon definitely needed that director's cut, and sadly, they threw out all of the deleted scenes in that movie.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck. That movie fucked me up when I first seen it.
Yeah, that was a really. I also, it's been a while since I watched it. I think I watched it. I was like 16, 17, which I don't even want to do the math.
That movie wrecked me when I first watched it. I did not expect the thing to happen in that movie that happened.
Yeah. Actually, I think that Ridley Scott's big talent is actually shooting movies well. Like, his visuals are always stunning. I'm not always a fan, or I don't consider him like a good storyteller, which is his better movies have talented script writers, which bad movies have not. For example, Robin Hood.
Oh my.
Or Alien Covenant.
I couldn't get. Like, I watched Prometheus once, and I was like, I don't know about this.
Prometheus actually grew on me. But the sad thing with Prometheus is that when you watch the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, that the movie with the deleted scenes would have been a masterpiece. The deleted scenes are so good and they're highly missing in the movie. But it's also, of course, like, we here sitting is like, hey, this movie's well paced. We like this cut to the other cut. It is tough as hell to cut a movie.
It is.
Like, to have like all these scenes and to make it like a coherent experience is it's a craft. It's a craft that you really have to learn.
Yeah, I'm with Air Spider. For me, that movie felt underwhelming. The deleted scenes were good, and they probably would have made the movie better, but even watching the regular movie, it's like I just wasn't feeling it as much.
I really like it. The first time I watched Prometheus, I didn't like it, and on the rewatch, it actually really captured me. So I have like I will hold the banner of Prometheus. I'm a big Ridley Scott critic. I always say it's like Alien is good because of Dan O'Bannon, because he's a fantastic writer. But
that's the thing, because I watched Prometheus once, and I have not watched it since. So maybe I do need to give it a rewatch just to see.
Yeah, it's.
Because certain movies, like, if you're not really feeling it the first time, you have to give it a second opinion.
Yeah, but especially with movies where you basically, I would not say with every movie, but especially with movies that are within your genre, like, because when the first time I watched it, I was also like expecting like an Alien prequel, and of course, since especially and I was like, I am a big fan. For me, the true Alien timeline is the Dark Horse Comics timeline. Like this is my Aliens timeline, and of course, like how the space jockey, like how the space jockeys were portrayed in the comics, is vastly different to how Ridley Scott portrayed it in Prometheus. So of course, the first time I watched it, I had like all of these things in my head where how I wanted to be like in canon, etc. And when I watched it the second time, I was trying to, hey, let's leave all this baggage out and really give it a chance. And then I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So maybe, because I can't remember if we talked about it during our Aliens.
I don't think so. I think we just.
I think we just talked the 4 Alien movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be, but Alien Covenant it doesn't work.
It's like
it's so heavy.
You come back with Prometheus, and then you fail with Covenant.
And that's the other thing. That's like, I got one with Prometheus. I really enjoyed Prometheus, and then he brings out Alien Covenant. It's like, oh fuck Prometheus.
See, that's the thing. It's like, bro, I was so underwhelmed with Prometheus. Then you do Covenant. I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I'll just stick with the originals, man.
Yeah. And I know, like, then it was just like a very heavy-handed.
Hey, like, how you make Covenant? And like, bro, I'd rather watch Alien 3 than Covenant, and Alien 3 ain't even all that.
No. Still, Alien 3 is still my least liked.
But for me, I was like, man.
Hey, Robert. We were talking about you today. About about how it's not unrealistic for people to freak out in apocalypse, and we talked about your toilet paper war in Minnesota.
Oh my god, man. No post-apocalypse movie ever focused on the toilet paper outage.
I remember Robert on the toilet, and the PTSD triggering. Glass shatters, like.
Yeah, man, but yeah, that's my whole thought on like different cuts of movies. And like you said earlier, it's hard to cut a movie.
Yes, it is.
And we talked about this before when we talked Last Boy Scout, and the editing process of that movie was brutal.
Which also want to give a shout out to Mark Goldblatt, one of the best editors in history, and also the director of the best Punisher movie.
Yeah, we could definitely revisit the Punisher films.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed this talk, and I'm looking forward to Zombie 2 next week.
Yes, which is my favorite zombie movie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
I'm a big Fulci fan.
I agree.
Yeah. But I do like how Idris Elba went out like very heroic. I really like that scene.
And we could talk about it for days of how underutilized he is as an actor, because he's a phenomenal actor.
Exactly, and he can play anything. He can even play a Frenchman.
Yeah.
As we talked about in the second Ghost Rider movie.
Yep. Even though I'm indifferent on that movie as well, so
I love that movie.
I like it, but I don't love it like as much as you do.
Yeah, for me, it's a fast-paced horror trip, and it's awesome.
That's one
Last
thing.
Last Boy Scout we talked a while ago, so
yeah, check back on my channel.
Check that one
a couple
out.
weeks ago, we talked that movie. Awesome movie. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next week with Zombie 2, man.
Yeah,
diving into
fantastic soundtrack by Fabio Frizzi, and of course, one of the scenes that would never happen in a country with film regulations: zombie versus shark.
Hey man, I remember when I first saw the video of that, I'm like, a zombie versus a shark? Hey, like, yo, they need them zombies for Shark Week, automatic.
Yeah. But also, like, this scene is like also true magic, and I also really like that Fulci went a little bit more to the voodoo roots of the zombies, still keeping like a little bit the virus thing on, but also like has like a lot of the voodoo thing going on.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a fantastic discussion, man.
Yeah, and there's also like with zombie, actually you have so many remastered versions, so it's like really hard to like to pick one where it's like, I like the coloring in this one, etc.
Yeah, I try not to get into all that, because then you're falling into like
because
which quality is better.
Because I think like I have like a remaster thing from Blue Underground, then I have like the Arrow one, then I also have like the old German DVD.
There's something for everybody, because
yeah,
like I'll still watch the VHS copy that I put on DVD, that I burnt the DVD of Ghostbusters, because there's just something about the aesthetic.
Exactly. Like, I'm very much looking forward. I hope I get the movie next week, because they just I think Arrow just released the 4K of House by the Cemetery from Lucio Fulci, and this is like a movie. When I watched the Blu-ray, I was like, this looks amazing. However, the scenes in the basement are way too light.
Oh man.
So this is like a problem often with a remaster, when they take out the darkness of a horror movie, and then it's not as as terrorizing anymore.
Yeah, there's certain movies where they change the aesthetic of the original, and it definitely like takes away the element.
Yeah. So I really hope that the 4K does a better job in that regard, which of course with the HDR coloring, which is the big difference, hopefully they will do that.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to next week, and then I'm looking forward to the week after when we talk Demon. So these next 2 weeks is going to be fun.
Gonna be action,
Italian horror.
Yeah. So, any news? You had a fantastic show last week with the Comic Hall crew.
Oh yeah, we had a great time. I'm not sure if there's a show tomorrow. I ain't checked. Nobody said anything, but if not tomorrow, we'll be back the following week. And for G-Man and what up, Jeff? I want to, with Jeff here and G-Man, I want to do like some type of get together where we all get together and we talk about G-Man's trip down here. We sort out that Saturday, Sunday, because we know what we're going to do, but we need to like get together and all talk about it.
Yeah.
Because G-Man...
Just be sure to have enough toilet paper like ready, so he doesn't...
He'll have toilet paper.
He doesn't have to fight for it.
But yeah, we definitely need to get together one of these days, Saturday or Sunday, and just talk it out. Like, it's getting closer. G-Man is coming.
I wish I could be there. I wish.
We got a portal, man. We got a portal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to these next 2 shows.
Yeah.
Anything you want to show before we leave?
Actually, not like I just got the new Red Sony Omnibus, but already put that in the shelf, which is for an omnibus a little bit too small. Like it should, like it's not oversized. Omnibus? Yeah, like later, like let's. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it this Saturday. If you're available, you can set it up on your channel, Jeff.
So basically, it's when you see the Conan Omnibi are like bigger, And the thing is, when you look on the inside and you compare it like with the paperbacks actually have bigger panels.
I love that art, man. That think
However, I think a lot of bookstores already selling it like the moment it came out, they have it like on sale. So I think in the US you can get it for $70, which is a way better price than the $100 like.
Now, is that
official price?
Is that the entire like Marvel run from the
not the entire Marvel run, but the entire Marvel feature, the first 15 issues, the original like Roy Thomas and Frank Thorne run, and the Savage Sword of Conan Red Sonja stories. However, the Red Sonja, the Savage Sword of Conan ones are all colored. Yeah, I still decided to buy this omnibus because I love these stories. I absolutely love these stories, and I don't want to get the single issues out every time I read it. So for reading it is actually, since it's like
it looks nice.
Since it's not an oversized omnibus, actually it's pretty nice to read.
And you know, G-Man, the thing with that, and this is why like I wanted to do it on Sunday with the Spooky Empire thing. I understand why you chose the Saturday, because you wanted to get it done with. But the thing is, it's Saturday. That's usually the most jam-packed day of any big con. And on top of that, you never know what time these artists, creators, and stuff like that come to their booth. Because when I went to Spooky Empire to meet Mick Foley, he didn't get to his booth till after 11. So I had like an hour to wait. That's where I did all my videoing and stuff of the thing. And then Mick Foley got there. But that's Mick Foley. He didn't even have that long of a line. And I was able to get my photo and take a picture with him and stuff like that. Doug Bradley's going to have a fucking line.
Yeah.
And
on top of that, Mick Foley always have a nice day.
Oh, yeah. But Doug Bradley's going to have a line. And you got the VIP people who's going to get first treatment. So we don't know how long that's going to take. So it's going to be interesting to see how quickly that you can get out there and get it done. But I hope it all goes well. Because, you know, I got your book, G-Man, the Doug Bradley book, too. So we got to meet up before you go to the con. And I'll give you that book.
Sweet. There's always a con in Florida.
Always. Never. But yeah, man. That is it for myself and VV. We thank everybody who showed up in the chat. We had a great stream. Looking forward to seeing y'all next week when we talk Zombie 2, the sequel, the Italian sequel.
By the fantastic, the great Lucio Fulci.
Yes. So we're going to talk that next week. And thanks, everybody. I hope y'all have a great weekend. We are signing out. Peace.